My first point to score both these countries would be in terms of job, because as a landed immigrant, the first thing you would want to know, or uh, is the first thing you would want as a landed immigrant is to get yourself a job. Vice versa, when I was a student in the US, the first thing I wanted to do after graduating from my university was get myself a job. So in terms of job finding, I feel that US is much more easier because there are much more cities out there. You have Texas, you have Houston, you have California, which is like the hub for IT centers. You have New York. A lot of the companies have originated from US. So you can see even if it's GM, if it's Ford, or even a lot of oil and gas based companies in Houston, a lot of the major Fortune 500 corporations have originated from the US. So that led to a very large amount of job creation. And at the same time, with technology and digital technology advancing, a lot of outsourcing that happened went to cheaper locations like India, or even manufacturing plants in China, or right now, like even in Africa. So in Canada, we have just two major cities, that is Vancouver and Toronto. And right now, you have places like Ottawa that's growing, Montreal that's growing up, and Waterloo and Kitchener region, that is again a very big, that's like the next hub for startup centers. Job. So when you compare both these countries, I would say it is US that wins in terms of job. My next scoring criteria would be in terms of visa friendliness and in terms of immigration. Now, it's not a hidden fact that Canada is much more visa friendly and immigrant friendly than US is. Canada is inviting more and more immigrants year after year into their country. So, when you are a student in Canada and you graduate, you are free to go and work for any employer. It is not necessary that it has to be a field of specialization. Vice versa, the PR card in US is as equivalent to a green card in the PR card in Canada is as equivalent to the green card in US. So once your 1 year of work experience is over, you as a person can go ahead and apply for your PR card. But on the other hand, in US, once you graduate, you have to work in your field of specialization under a certain kind of certain companies which are eligible to sponsor you. Vice versa, your H1B is under your employer. Again, your employer needs to file for your green card, and the wait for your green card can extend anywhere from 8 years to even 14 years, depending upon on which quota, if it's the EB1 or if it's the EB2 status that it has got applied under. So, in terms of visa friendliness, I would definitely say that it is Canada that gets the score. My next point of scoring would be in terms of cost of living and also savings. Over here, if you really go to if you look for a job that you get in US compared to the job that you get in Canada, your salaries will tend to be on the lower end for the same job profile with the same kind of experience. You will see that Canada pays you much lower than what you will be getting inside the US. At the same time, the cost of living in Canada is much higher than that of US, mainly because the real estate cost over here is very high. Your car insurances are much higher, your telephone bills are higher. So it is said that Canada, everything costs almost roughly 25% higher than what it will be costing in US. And vice versa, your salary may also be 25% lower than what it is in US. So keeping that in mind, I would definitely say that it is US that wins because the cost of living in Canada is higher, and which will result in you probably not having much savings. So my next scoring criteria would be that of weather. Now, it is not a hidden fact that Canada is quite famous for its long and cold wintry weather. The snow in Canada can last anywhere from 8 months to 10 months, and it is all over in Canada. So you can settle in Toronto, you can go and settle in Calgary, which is way up north. You can be in Vancouver, or you can even be in Nova Scotia, which is on the eastern hemisphere of Canada. There's absolutely no way that you can escape the snow. So you will be facing the harsh, long winters when you are in Canada. Even when the summer comes in, it's quite pleasant, but it's quite unpredictable. It can be sunny one day and it can just start raining the very next day. Its neighbor, US, US offers a wide range of weather. You can have snow up north in Michigan region, which can last for like 4 months at the most. Or if you want to escape the snow totally, you can just fly south to Florida and enjoy the tropical climate. So US offers a wide variety of weather, and the weather at the same time is not unpredictable like the way it is in Canada. So over here, it is US that scores the point. So my next judging criteria for both these countries would be in terms of raising a family and also in terms of long-term settlement. So, World Health Organization has ranked Canada consistently in rank of four, or and sometimes even in rank of two, in terms of raising a family. One main reason for this is in terms of maternity leave. Canada offers much more longer maternity leave than US. Your maternity leave can range anywhere from 1 year to 18 months, depending upon the organization that you're working for. At the same time, you get child support from the Canadian government, which is not existing in US at all. And also in terms of healthcare, the healthcare, as everybody knows, it is completely free in Canada, provided you are under the PR card and or the citizen. And at the same time, US, your healthcare is not free. Again, if you are under your H1 visa or if you're under a contract employee where your employee is not paying for your health insurance, your costs can go significantly much higher when you visit a doctor. So, keeping all these things in mind, I would definitely be scoring Canada much higher than US when it comes to raising a family and also in terms of settlement and retirement. So my next point of comparison between both these countries would be in terms of visa and also in terms of connecting with your family back home. So it means you traveling to your home country or even getting your parents or your grandparents to come and visit you. So when we look at the visa from the US countries, you can see that in US you are when you're an H1B, you are tied to your employer, and at the same time your spouse cannot work. So you have to wait all the way till you get your green card for that to happen. And at the same time, when your parents come to visit you, there's a time frame of just 6 months that your parents can live in that country till they have to go back or they have to exit US. As far as Canada is concerned, if you are on a work permit or even if you are on a PR card, you are free to work for absolutely any employer that you want. And at the same time, you are also your spouse is free to work for any employer. So there's no visa restrictions as such. Then, as far as your parents or your grandparents are concerned, you can bring them on super visa, which is almost for 2 years. Right now, super visa has been closed, but it will open gradually, and you can have your parents visit you for 2 years at a stretch. And at the same time, there's also something called as PR application for your parents and your grandparents. This is application process that opens usually in the month of January of every year, and you have like 20,000 seats in that. So it's highly competitive, but then there is that option available where you can get your parents to live with you in your country. So keeping both the visa restrictions and also the ease in which you can commute in and out of the country, I will definitely say that it is Canada that has an upper hand compared to you. All in all, from the scorecard, you can see that Canada wins hands down in terms of how friendly it is for an immigrant and terms of settling down and raising a family. From my 2 cents on these two countries is that if you are a person who's looking for career growth, who wants to have a great career, then I would strongly say that US is the place because it offers much more variety of jobs and there are much more major organizations and companies out there. But if you are a person who is okay with the cold weather, who is okay by paying a little more extra taxes, but they want to have their entire family together, they want to have their grandparents and parents visit them, and also they are able to travel back to their home country hassle free, and who doesn't want to take the stress of the H1 and then knowing or not knowing whether you're going to get the green card, and you're okay to have a little bit of compromisation on your career, then I would say Canada is definitely the offers you the overall package. So with that said, hope you enjoyed this video. My next video would probably be comparison between Dubai and Canada, and what are the criterias that you can use in order to choose between these two countries. Thank you.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.